I personally set foot on the mountain that grows this tea, and I personally visited the tea company that supplies this tea. This tea is an oolong tea called Mi Lan Xiang, which means Honey Orchid Fragrance. It is an oolong tea from Phoenix Mountain. Honey Orchid Fragrance is a Dancong oolong from Phoenix Mountain. And Dancong means that these leaves were picked from the same singular tea tree. When I went to China in November 2025, I traveled across Guangdong province and I went to Phoenix Mountain, where this tea is from. And it was really lovely, Phoenix Mountain. It was very beautiful, and the mountaintop was surrounded with so many tea trees, and it's like the air is so fresh. It's like hiking on conservation land with all of that like fresh air from all the trees, and there's no city. But then add that component of every tree is a tea tree. So in addition to that fresh air, it's actually fresh medicinal air from all of those trees. Honey Orchid Fragrance has a really nice amber honey colored liqueur, and the tea is a very fragrant tea. And when you taste it, it tastes very mellow and very floral with notes of honey in it. I'm going to smell the fragrance of this tea. I can definitely smell the fragrance. It's a very nice, mellow oolong, and the fragrance has these nice, smooth, sweet, mellow notes of honey. And when I taste it, I can also taste the honey, and it tastes sweet, and it also tastes roasted. It tastes very floral, so I feel like it really lives up to the name of being Honey Orchid Fragrance. Because when it comes to honey, I definitely can taste that honey notes to it, and then it also is a very fragrant tea. And it feels very much like an oolong, and it has that really nice roasted undertone to it. This is really delicious. Like a Fengyang Chinese medicine practitioner, some imbalances in the body occur when the body is too hot or too cold, which are concepts in Chinese medicine. Drink hot tea, that while the temperature is hot, it's actually cooling to the body. So green tea, for example, is cooling to the body, even when you drink it in a hot form. And so my body personally is actually too cold. So I find that when I drink teas that are warming in Chinese medicine, it really tends to warm my body up, and it gives me like a better kick of energy. Versus when I drink cooling teas, while the teas are good teas in general, I find they don't really work as well in my system. So when I went to China, I was in Guangdong province, which is the subtropics. And the thing about the subtropics is that it's warm all the time, like Florida. So I was really enjoying drinking cooling teas from Phoenix Mountain in the warm tropics, because when my body was cold, the environment was so warm that I drank cooling teas and I felt fine. But then when I came back to the US, I live in New England, and right now we're having a very cold, very snowy winter in New England. So I could drink these cooling teas in China and I felt fine, but then when I came back to New England, where the environment was cold, I would drink cooling teas and my body didn't feel as good afterwards. So I actually really miss drinking Phoenix Mountain teas because they didn't work as well for me in this climate, in this season. And I really enjoy drinking the oolong, that is the Honey Orchid Fragrance, because it's warming in Chinese medicine. So it really allows me to taste the taste of Phoenix Mountain while it's also warming my body. And I can drink it all winter long, and I feel great afterwards. When I went to China in November 2025, it was because of my teacher, Dr. Wu. And in China, I actually officially became his disciple, so I call him Master Wu. And Master Wu grew up in Guangdong province. So we brought a group of Americans students and disciples to Guangdong province to really discover the area that he grew up in and really show people how Chinese medicine is embedded in Chinese culture in some areas, and just really show people the 3 T's of Fengyang traditional Chinese medicine: tea, Tuina, and Tai Chi. And so when I was in Guangdong province, I had the wonderful experience of going onto Phoenix Mountain, and Phoenix Mountain was wonderful. I already talked about how gorgeous the air was, and the views were completely spectacular. We went super high up on the mountain, and we actually went for a hike, and we got some gorgeous views of tea trees. And a few days later, we actually went to a tea company in Shantou called QiXiangSongCha. And QiXiangSongCha is a fantastic tea company that supplies a lot of the teas that we sell here at Wu Healing and Fengyang TCM. And these teas are really high quality. Aren't tea leaves that you just mindlessly soak in a bag. This is like the premium loose leaf tea leaves that when you brew it expertly and with skill, you really get to taste a very wonderful, like mind-blowing. When I was in Guangdong province, I went to Yimo Tea House in Guangzhou, and I actually learned how to brew tea with skill to make the tea taste really wonderful. I'm going to teach you the Millet Labeling Teamaking Method. So this gaiwan, or a teapot if you have it, is a clock. Over here is 3 o'clock, and here is 9 o'clock. So when I pour water into the gaiwan or a teapot, I'm going to start at 3 o'clock, and then I'm going to go counterclockwise and end at 3 o'clock. And then afterwards, when I pour water out of the gaiwan or teapot, I'm going to pour out at 9 o'clock. I pour into the gaiwan or teapot at a low pour, which is halfway up the height of the gaiwan or teapot lid. And I pour the water in at 3 o'clock. I go counterclockwise, start at 3 and end at 3. And then I'm going to pour out at 9 o'clock. Brewing tea, according to the Millet Labeling Teamaking Method, brings out the true quality of the tea. So if you happen to buy this specific tea and you brew it this specific way, then you will get to fully experience the wonderful taste of this Honey Orchid Fragrance tea. Is this tea the right tea for you? I recommend trying this tea if you really like oolong teas, and if you also really like a tea that tastes like honey, and if it tastes floral, and if it tastes roasted. And if you're a big fan of those fragrant oolongs, I recommend trying it as well. And bonus, if you happen to understand like the hot and cold constitution in Chinese medicine, and if you know that you're a cold type and you need some warmth, then I would additionally recommend trying this tea. So I really hope that you enjoy my video, and I really hope that when you have tea, whether it be this tea or a different tea, I hope that you enjoyed learning the Millet Labeling Teamaking Method, and I really hope that you enjoy brewing your tea with skill and with mindfulness. So I hope that you enjoy your tea, and I hope that you enjoy life.